Kind of see there's a fold right here, so we'll draw down on that. Kind of comes down this way. There'd be kind of the top of one there, and we'll run in between those two another one, so that we kind of get the effect of there being folds in the cloth there that, you know, not necessarily are sculpted, but we can imply are there through our highlights. Alright, that's good. So while we're at that, I'm just going to take some of that leather brown now, and I'm just going to paint the wood stock on this improvised musket. Trying to figure out where... Yes, this is one of the things why I like doing skin at the very end, is because I know exactly where the skin is and the rest of the details are. I did the skin first on these guys because they were fairly prominent features of the model, and I hesitate waiting that long to paint such a heavy part of the model. You know, it's a very prominent part of the color scheme, and not knowing kind of what the skin's going to turn out looking like kind of leaves you up in the air for knowing you know, where the rest of the color needs to be on the model, in terms of like your contrasts and your color theory and all your choices that you make for, you know, is this guy gonna have a black hat? Is he gonna have a white hat? You know, is it gray? Is it red? You know, what color choices am I making? Where does that, you know, where does that put me for, you know, what available colors I can use without having this look like he's just a clown in different colors of, you know, clothing. But the problem is, like, right here on the tip of his finger, I didn't hit his skin, so I'll have to touch that up. And then what just comes from doing this, it's actually really cool. He's got a match in his finger. I don't know if you can see that, just ever so slightly, like right above my brush there, it's like a little white dot. That's literally, there's a match sculpted in between his fingers, so that'll be fun to paint. It's like he's about to strike the match and light this this blunderbuss and fire it off, which is really cool. I love these models. They're such, they hold up well to the test of time. I think they're like from the like mid-90s, I want to say. But Mark Copplestone puts out some beautiful, beautiful sculpted models. These might even be older than the 90s. It might be from the 80s. I can't remember. Just going back over with black gray for that. Alright, this is gonna be fun. What color are we gonna do his? He's got like a loincloth here. I kinda wanna do yellow. I haven't done a whole lot of yellows with these models yet. So I'll show you guys a trick that I've been using to paint pretty vibrant color yellows. They work for like clothing fairly well. But it involves buying the secret weapon washes or mixing your own kind of wash glazes. So I'm just base coating this with beige from Vallejo. You could likewise use like an ivory or rebase coat it white. I just think beige gives a little bit more of a better tone once everything's said and done. But we're going to use two different secret weapon washes to glaze this and darken it so it when it turns yellow, and then gives some nice kind of orangey red-brown shading, which I think looks really good. Just trying to get down underneath the underside of the model there. Switch to a smaller brush here and paint the inside. There's a little bit of that cloth that's on the inside here. I just want to get that. He's got some sort of little totem or something hanging off of his waist. That up too. Alright, so we'll let that dry for a little while. What else we got here? We've got a backpack of some sorts. I want to paint the metal on his gun real quick just to get that blocked in, because that'll be a good piece that we can work on without needing to. Just using like a watered down black for this. It's not nothing too crazy, because it'll mostly be covered by silver. This is again a case of painting skin first and then knowing, you know, where are my colors, what did I get painted, what didn't I get painted. Typically I will paint almost the whole model first before I come back to the skin. And when I do my World War II stuff, the skin is typically the very last thing that I do. And up until that point, the models look like they're not even finished, but as soon as the skin goes on, everything just really pops, and it's like, oh, those models are pretty much almost finished now. Which is kind of cool, because you paint like 20 or 30 guys at a time when you do batch painting like that. And it never seems like the light at the tunnel is going to hit. It's like all of a sudden, boom. Oh, great, these are pretty much almost finished now. Awesome. You know, I'm going to do light brown for this this little pouch on his back here. So this is the cool thing with working with like a wet palette, is you've got colors out on your palette already, and if you're kind of doing like, I've been painting these warbands in like 5 or 6 characters or models at a time, and if you use the same kind of color palette across like 5 or 6 models, you don't notice it until you get them all kind of next to each other, and it's like, oh wow, all these models look really good together because there's kind of like a unifying color that kind of pulls everything together. Whether it's like a certain brown shade or a certain gray, or you know, if you use like a blue or something like that, you don't notice it until they're all next to each other. But like all my peacekeepers, well, one, they're wearing uniforms, but like all my raiders pretty much have like, you know, the same 6 or 7 colors across them. But it's just like, you know, this guy had a tunic that was that color, he had a pouch that was a different color, and then it's just kind of reuse those colors as best you can across different parts of the model. Alright, so let's pull out, we're going to put the orange back, we're going to pull out these 2 colors here, which is one, yellow snow, which is a great color, and sunshine, which is the final process. So we're going to start with yellow snow, which is a great name for shade. And look at this crap, get down on palette and stop popping up. My parchment paper's starting to peel on me. So I've got maybe another 10 minutes of this particular piece of parchment, or it's completely shot. Let's pull another one out. So we're going to take that yellow snow, and we're just going to kind of run it like a wash. We're going to try and not get it on any other parts of the model, because what will happen is this will actually tint very heavily any parts of the model that you get it on. Now, I'm not too worried about the leather there, because we'll do some washes and that's not finished, but I don't want to get it on the brown pants as Deadpool. So, aptly warned of, don't bring brown pants, or wear the brown pants or something. Some Deadpool. So immediately that's already giving us like a kind of nice shade that's being just completely washed out by the lights, which sucks. Maybe if I... oh, that's better, yeah. So that's what I'll have to do temporarily. So you can kind of see that it's almost already got like a yellow shade to it. And that's just from that yellow snow. And then when we put this sunshine over the top, that'll really make it kind of like a nice yellow color. Alright, so we got a sword scabbard that we need to do. We've got his hair. He's got some leather straps. Gonna pull out some soft body black for his boots real quick and his hat and get those washed up. Sure the shade goes all the way around so we don't have any sort of Ooh, okay, so I didn't realize that the boot got that close to the yeah, I might have screwed that up. I think it'll be okay. Let's see if we can... Yeah, the tip of that cloth that he's wearing around his waist just ever so slightly touches the boot, and I was worried that there'd be some weird bleeding effect where the wash runs up the side of that cloth and just ruins what we just did. So thankfully that wasn't the case, but it very well could have been. So you gotta be a little on your game. Don't be slacking off. Alright, so what else we got? We got some... He's got like some arm jewelry, so like beads. That might actually be really cool to do like some turquoise on that, kind of like a New Mexico, Santa Fe kind of style of jewelry. That would be really cool. Paint this kind of arm piece or arm shoulder guard black. Pretty straightforward. come up with a good color for his straps across his... He's got like a piece of like old computer or something strapped across his chest. So I think I'll do that kind of like a motherboard maybe, like a green color. I think that would be good, because that will go well with the yellow. He's got hair, he's got glasses on, got some ties around his wrist. Alright, let's pick out a color for... yeah, I'm just gonna go back to that ochre, that green ochre for the straps here. And what we can do is we can tint this or shade this a different color if we want, if we're thinking it's if it's not enough contrast. The option we could just go black, but I think the black will be a little too stark against what we're working with here. This is definitely a case of working from the inside of the model out. Painting these straps first and then trying to paint the skin would be the wrong way to do it. You definitely want to have your inside colors painted first so that when you're painting, you're not having to paint like... You know, I wouldn't want to paint this pouch first and then have to paint around it and paint underneath it. I'm going to work from the inside of the model out. It's kind of the way to go. Looking good. Let's have a bit of a belt going around his back here. Make sure that paint's nice and mixed, kind of separated a bit. Get in there. Yeah, I had paint on the tip of the edge of the brush there. You know what, I'm just not going to worry about... I guess I could do the belt. Here. So this is a case where I did the opposite. I should have done this belt first and then painted the little pouch next to it afterwards, because now I'm having to worry about, like, you know, painting brown on the belt and pouch, but at the same time it's like, well, crap, is there gonna be coverage there? What's the deal? So okay, so next thing, we're gonna come back to the secret weapon watch. This is Sunshine now. See how much that see how much my lights wash out the colors. That option would be to try and diffuse this lamp that I've got above me. So we're gonna take that Sunshine, just kind of do the same process here, just kind of wash it over the model. We might come back with another layer of that yellow snow. Let that dry. Alright, I'm gonna bust out. I love this middle stone color. It's like a great kind of olive yellow green color. It's perfect for some post-apoc stuff. So I'm gonna paint his I'm gonna paint this pack on his back. This little pouch here. You'll see me switch between different size brushes based on the amount of control that I need. It's nice. I basically use a 00 and a 1 when I paint. That's my 1 is my kind of base coat and washing brush, and then the 00 is like my workhorse. I know a lot of people that can pretty much do almost all their painting with a 1, but I find the smaller tip better for the 00 for getting into areas like this where you need like very precise control over the side of your brush so that it doesn't hit the side of the flesh like I just did there. Again, this is a case of working the inside of the model out, so I wouldn't have had to worry about this if I had done this correctly, but